they have a shot at it, a realistic shot at it. However, how would you describe their first day of training camp?
It's the word that I'm going to use to describe the team all year long. And I mentioned this on the pregame show a couple days ago. Shout out the pregame show, Stein. I know you tune in like 5 to 6, Monday through Friday. Did not do a pregame show today, by the way, because I got to be honest, I thought you guys were at training camp again today and the morning show. So I came in closer to 5 o'clock. Normally, I usually come here at 4:30, but it was more like a 4:50-ish.
What is going on here?
I flag on Spadoni. No pregame show today. It actually worked in my favor because now I get to talk for 4 hours instead of 5 today. Although I love talking to you lovely people. But I said the one word to describe the Niners this season is going to be tense. And it kind of felt like that a little bit yesterday. Now, there's some feel-good stuff, right? Like, guys got married this offseason. Christian McCaffrey, congratulations to him. Congratulations to... Did Brock Purdy get married or is he just engaged? You get married? 888-957-9570.
I'll tell you what, I don't know, but I'll bet he's been faithful.
There you go.
Brock Purdy's faithful. I'll give you that. No pun intended.
Shout out the 49ers face. Thank you. 49ers faithful. But the one word I would use to describe is tense when it comes to Trent Williams. Now he's holding out. We got a whole deal with Brandon Ayuk. Guys just walking around with shades on and basketball shorts. It's just very odd. Like, it's like attending school, but like instead of me being front and center in the classroom, I'm sitting at the teacher's desk on my phone, checked out, but I'm still kind of getting credit for it. It's very weird. And I don't know how I'd feel about that. You know, if I'm another 49ers teammate, I get it. They want to say, hey, Stein, you guys get your bag, right? We always hear that. Yep. Go. Hey, you do you, buddy. I'm going to root for you to get your money. It's easy to say that, but when you're a guy like Brandon Ayuk, Steiny, and you see Christian McCaffrey get the bag, you see all these guys getting the bag. You see who's Odom, some guy named Odom on the team who doesn't play as much as you do, but he's more of a priority, it seems like. You see all these articles coming out, Brock Purdy's going to get $325 million. You see stuff like that. And now you see Trent Williams holding out, and it feels like he might even be more of a priority over you. How am I supposed to feel about that? There's a lot going on here with the 49ers off the field. There is
a lot going on. And my question to 49er fans is, all the stuff going on, all their issues, their challenges, their obstacles do seem to be happening off the field. Is that good? If you're a 49er fan, are those the problems you'd like to have? Hopefully get them out of the way, and then you're able to attack the season. Or would you rather they actually have some football issues, which they may, but we just don't know at this point. But you're right. I mean, you run down the line of what happened one day into training camp. You got Brandon Ayuk on the sidelines. He's there, but he's not practicing. Trent Williams, he's a no-show. Ricky Pearsall is going to miss the first 4 days of practice. And I'll tell you what, we got some sound from Herm Edwards that I always mess with Guru about. Stop worrying, but maybe there's cause to worry about Ricky Pearsall. How much do you use Christian McCaffrey? We haven't even talked about that. You know, George Kittle's lost 30 pounds and gained 30 pounds in the offseason. So there's a lot going on. But I do want to ask 49er fans, day one was, I felt like, and I said this to the boss after we were down at training camp yesterday.
How was that? Was it hot? Toasty?
It was warm. It was warm.
Okay.
But I was telling the boss there was so much stuff coming in about, you know, Ayuk's there, but he's not. Trent Williams now. It was just a whirlwind day, and I would love to know how 49er fans feel about it after one day. Yeah, I'm asking you how you feel about it after one day. Do you sense any trouble? Do you roll your eyes when I say, do you sense any trouble? Because your answer is, one day into training camp. This happens all the time, and they'll figure it out. But again, I saw a story on ESPN, Bill Barnwell. $325 million for Brock Purdy? No wonder everybody is trying to get as much money now as possible. Dude. So, I don't know. It feels like, you said the word, it feels like the 49ers, there's tension there. And I have to agree with you because I know that Lynch and Shanahan want to keep this window open longer than a year, and they may very well be able to do that. But there is an urgency on this year that I don't know what other team is feeling it right now. The Chiefs aren't feeling it because they got Super Bowls in their back pocket. But is there any team out there that's feeling this kind of pressure and experiencing this kind of tension and is more up against it than the Niners right now?
I would say maybe as much because the Niners have done this twice under Kyle Shanahan's era, but maybe a team like the Cincinnati Bengals who have gotten to where the Niners have and come just short of winning a Super Bowl in recent memory, have beaten Mahomes before in the playoffs. The only team to do that other than Tom Brady's Patriots way back when. So, yeah, but it's really the Niners. It's not even close outside of maybe the Bengals. Like,
well,
it's an unenviable position to be in when you don't win the title, but the expectations are from the fan base and from everyone else, you better get there still.
And there is some difference between Buffalo and Cincinnati, and it's because Buffalo's got Allen, Cincinnati's got Burrow.
Burrow's hurt a lot though.
He is,
yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, even the Baltimore Ravens, who you think of as a team that they knock on the door every year, or they're a factor every year. They're sitting with Lamar Jackson. I think when you're one of those teams, you don't feel like this has to be a do or die year. But with the 49ers, I think we all know that because Brock Purdy's going to have to get paid one way or the other by the Niners or by some other team, that there is some, I don't know if it's finality to this year, but I think everybody knows that it's all going to change at the end of this year. And you better have a Super Bowl in your back pocket by the time things change. Otherwise, all bets are off.
Well, let's say they don't win it this year, Steiny. Let's say they make the playoffs and maybe they lose in the divisional round. Let's just say that.
Win a game, lose a game. Something like that.
Lose a game.
All right.
Fair enough. You lose to the Lions or something. They look like they're going to go to the Super Bowl or something like that. What are 49ers fans' thoughts heading into next offseason? Because if you lose in the playoffs, and that's 3 trips now, and Brock Purdy, I get if you want to give him a mulligan after that first year, gets hurt in the NFC Championship. You don't know what you have there. He's an MVP consideration last year, comes up just short in overtime in the Super Bowl, and then you're one and done in the playoffs. And now you're facing potentially a $300+ million contract in the face, and you have to start making hard decisions on guys like George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, what's going on with Brandon Ayuk because he re-signed it, what's going on with Trent Williams. That's what you don't want. So it really is, like, to your point, a very Super Bowl or bust heavy feel to it, which again goes back to that word I wanted to use, tension.
Yep.
With the players, with the front office, with ownership. You want to get it done this year because this is the last time you're going to have the core players, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Kittle,
no doubt about
Deebo,
it.
All those guys, right?
Yeah.
Because something's going to change. It has to.
It has to.
It has to change.
And everybody knows it has to. And I think what people are worried about is it may be starting to change right now with Ayuk. He may be the first domino to fall in terms of a residual off the fact that they have to pay Brock Purdy at some point. I think there's another thing going on here too, though, Joe. Tell me what you think of it.
Ooh, you call me Joe. You don't do that often.
Yeah.
I don't really call you Matt.
Guru and I kind of mix it up a little bit,
Okay.
but it's this.
I've never heard you call him Daryl, so there's that.
Well, only when I'm pissed.
Okay.
So I don't.
It's like Matthew at home.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, Matthew, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Joseph would be, that's not good.
No, that's my mom. When she calls me Maddie, everything's good. But when she says Matthew, trouble brewing.
Night.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's an external force at play here with the Niners that they can't control, but it's part of the equation. I really do. And I think it's, if you're a Bay Area sports fan and you're not Guru and you're more realistic than him, I really do think you look at the Giants and say, we got nothing. I think you look at the Warriors and say, we're going in a different direction than titles. We're at a crossroads, and it's probably not going to be as good as it was. And so the Niners, by default, and rightfully so, have an inordinate amount of pressure on them to do it this year because they're kind of the last. They're the last of the sure things right now with the Bay Area sports scene. The Giants used to be a sure thing 10 years ago. The Warriors used to be a sure thing 5 years ago. But right now, the only sure thing seems to be the San Francisco 49ers, and yet they're the team with nothing to show for it in terms of Super Bowls. So it's now or never. That's what it feels like, and it feels like that's a feeling that pervades the organization and the fan base.
Now or never, was that Bon Jovi? I'm not going to live forever. It's now or never, something like that.
No, it's now or never. It's a classic song. Might even be Sinatra.
Okay.
Might be a Burt Bacharach. Somebody like
Martin.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Fair
Something
enough.
like that.
All right. So it's a good place you want to be.
Elvis Presley.
Okay, there you go. It's a place you want to be in as a fan, but also not at the same time, because you would have liked to have a Super Bowl, right?
Right.
At least Giants fans and Warriors fans, Steiny, to your point, they got championships that they can live with. I know it's been a long time for the Giants. It's been 10 years now, which is kind of crazy, right?
Yep.
10 years since their last World Series against the Kansas City Royals, a team that got all the way, by the way, which what the Niners are trying to do, got all the way to a championship, to a World Series, lost, came back the next year, and beat our guy Ken's Mets in the 2015 World Series, I should say. Stop! Sorry. Hate to death to you, Kenny. The great Ken Luttrell behind the glass, by the way.
You know what? That's the first time I've ever heard his last name. I didn't know it was Luttrell. Latrell, like Spree?
No, not like Spreewell.
Is that French?
Backstreet Boy.
French?
Irish.
There you go.
Okay.
I wouldn't have guessed. There you go. The great Irishman back there. Shout out Robert De Niro. Too long of a movie for me. But again, I'm going back to how fans should feel about this team. They should still feel pretty good. I know it might sound, you're tuning on your radio, it's 10:22 right now. Spadoni and Steiny, the sky is falling one day in a training camp. We're not saying that. We're just saying if you don't win this year, things are going to start getting a little heavier than you might want.
No doubt.
But you know what? You are still one of those teams, Niner fans. You still are one of the few teams with legit Super Bowl expectations, and you want to be there no matter what. Like, no matter what, you want to be a team, like if you want to go basketball, you want to be a Celtics, you want to be a Timberwolves. Hell, you want to be Oklahoma City Thunder right now, Denver Nuggets. Legit teams have a chance to win it all. If you go to the NFL right now, Steiny, who is it? Chiefs. You can go the
49ers,
Ravens. Who else? The
Bengals, maybe the Bills.
Lions. Maybe exactly.
The Bills.
But again, it's like 5 teams.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be right now. So as much as it might feel like there's a lot of tension right now, and there is, don't get it twisted. This team is still going to be really good this year, barring health. Might be a little tense at times. Might have a little mini losing streak. Maybe if an Ayuk or a Trent Williams gets hurt, maybe that adds a little more intrigue than it normally would. And I hope those guys don't get hurt, knock on wood. But there's just going to be some tension this year. And that's okay. Pressure is a privilege. Who says that? Billie Jean King? Pressure is a privilege, Steiny.
And pressure also brings out the best in players at times. 510, Spadoni's right. It's Bon Jovi. The song is called It's My Life. Not a big Bon Jovi fan.
Really?
No,
From, Jersey guy,
I know. And it's an upset. It's an upset.
East Coaster that Steiny doesn't like?
Yeah, he's a little bit,
Didn't he try to buy the Buffalo Bills? Wasn't he trying to be part of that group that
Well, he owned a Arena Football League team in Philadelphia, I believe.
Philadelphia Soul?
Oh, yeah, the Philadelphia Soul. The Philadelphia Soul, one of their problems was they never sold out very often. Mm-hmm.
They spelled it SOLE, like the shoe.
Exactly.
There you go.
All right, 888-957-9570 is the number. I'm coming and asking for 49er fans today because a lot is going on with your team. You got Trent Williams not there. You got Ayuk there, but not there. We're going to play some Ricky Pearsall sound that would even give Daryl the Guru Johnson some pause. We've got Christian McCaffrey worried about his workload, and we've got Brock Purdy and what's going to happen with his future. So if you heard all the stuff that happened at training camp yesterday, what do you think about it? Or do you think it's not time to worry yet? 888-957-9570 is the number. I was also, we are going to get into Steph Curry. I was thinking about this yesterday. You know, when teams become great, especially in the Bay Area, there are things that become, I don't know if the word's iconic, but you got Pablo Sandoval, the Panda Hats. You got Brandon Bell, Giraffe. You got Marco Scudero, standing in the rain with his hands uplifted.
Fan favorites.
Yeah, but we now have a new lexicon, word in the forevermore, we will be talking about the phrase bottom feeders. Steph Curry and the word bottom feeder. It will live. It will live on, trust me. And what is Steph Curry's definition of a bottom feeder? What's your definition of a bottom feeder? We're going to get into it all today on 95.7 The Game. 888-957-9570 is the number. AB on the YouTube text. Get ready for a roller coaster ride. That's what it's going to feel like, I think, this year with the Niners. What do you think?
Dipper.
888-957-9570. What's coming up on The Game is presented by Lucky California.
The Savings Road Trip game of Monopoly is back at Lucky this week.